Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Showtime! Are you ready? Give it up for your host, Reggie. Today on Simply Straight Talk, we are discussing celebrities and how they influence people. From movies to music, adults and children share the same love for celebrities. But I wonder if celebrities truly understand how they influence their fans. Drugs, alcohol, and violence are some of the things Reggie will be discussing. All right, Reggie, your mic is live. Go for it.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Simply Straight Talk. This is your host, Reggie, and Amber, yes, we are going to be talking about celebrities and their impact on social media. But more so, not just their impact on social media, but their impact on you and your kids. Now, let me go and put this out there before we get started. This is not me trying to slam or degrade or hating on any celebrity. This is simply me stating the facts regarding that sometimes we, not even just celebrities, but us as people in general, can actually submit stuff out to the world or to people around us, and we may not realize the impact or the influence that we have on somebody, and they may start to pick up that behavior. Now, as you all know, when it comes to celebrities, they normally have like 400, 500, some of them up in the millions when it comes to their followers on any type of social media. But the thing about it is, just let's take your kids for instance, okay? Now, what would you do if you really went through your kids' social media and actually just paid attention to who they follow? In general or with celebrities. Now, I'm about to drop a name, but first of all, let me tell you, like I said before, I am not hating. This is not meant to be disrespectful. This is not mean to say that any person is bad. Me personally, let me just tell you how I feel from the jump start. I feel that celebrities and people who post stuff publicly should have some responsibility for the content that they are putting out. Now, a lot of people love Cardi B. Nothing wrong with Cardi B. Love her story, how she overcame. But is that somebody you want as a young child to actually start off looking and reviewing her material? Some of the stuff. Now, I'm not talking about her music now. I'm just talking about social media. I mean, think about it. You got to be honest now. If you really look at somebody's social media and you see they're posting things, is that something that you would want your child to follow as far as that person and begin to mentor that person? You see what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but a lot of times when you follow people's social media, you're going to have strong language, strong sexuality, and between a lot of celebrities now, there is so much threatening behavior. I mean, think about it. Think about when The Rock and Tyrese was going back and forth, the stuff they were saying to each other, how they were insulting each other. You got Katy Perry who was involved in one. The Kardashians, who's always involved in some type of Twitter war. What's the girl? Azalea, who's always going out there. You even got basketball players, man. You had LeBron and Charles Barkley, LeBron James talking about Charles Barkley, personal life and family and all this type stuff. But these are people who have to understand that with fame and fortune comes responsibility, and becomes responsibility a higher standard. Now, Charles Barkley has always said, I'm not a role model. I'm not a role model. Don't look at me as a role model. I'm not a role model. It's not my job to be your role model. Well, when you're a person that's living a lavish life, when you're a person that's famous and you're on TV and everybody's like wanting to get your autographs and people are paying money to see you. My thing is, you may not want to be a role model. You may not want to be somebody's mentor, but ultimately you probably most likely are somebody's role model or mentor. You are, simply because of the life they live. Especially when you got people that's living a life to where they're watching their parents struggle. You got a kid that may be playing basketball who wants to be better. So when they see you, they see a way out, and they assume that how they see you now, the attitude you have now, is what you use to get out from where you're from. So that's what people got to realize, that a lot of people associate your attitude from where you are in a life of fame and fortune is probably where your attitude before you became famous and before you had the fortune. So that's why when people say, I'm not a mentor, I'm not a role model. Well, you are. And it may not be by choice, but because of your status, because of the way you're in the public eye, by default, you're going to be a role model for somebody. Somebody's going to see you as a mentor. So they're going to start adapting your behavior. They're going to start adapting the things that you say and you do because they feel like it works for you and it's going to work for them. So that's why I say, when celebrities post stuff on social media, tell me about it. Simply Straight Talk family. Do you feel celebrities need to be more conscious and aware of what they post, how they post stuff? I mean, do you think this is something they can consider? Have you seen this in somebody else's kids? Have you seen it in your kids? Or maybe have you adapted some of these behaviors that you've seen from people that post on social media? Because, it's there. It's not hard to find. It's not like you have to have some passcode, access word, or some sign up to join. You just say follow and you're automatically viewing and seeing everything that they post. Now, one issue that I do have with some of the celebrities I've seen on social media is the lack of understanding for people in distress, because it just seems that they go at each other. And, we're in a world today to where, people right now are losing their jobs. You got the whole #MeToo thing where if somebody simply is accused of something, all of a sudden, they're being pulled from movies. Their shows are being canceled, and, they're not getting endorsements. So it doesn't take much to ruin somebody's career today. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I am not saying that I condone any type of behavior that it hurts or offends anybody. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there need to be a process to where we have facts and truth, and not just someone said something and all of a sudden a person's career is destroyed. Okay? I'm not going to get into that. So I just want to put that out there. But there seems to be a lack of understanding because today we have a lot of people that are mentally just drained. They're just tired. So when you see these celebrities going in on each other, going at each other, now the whole thing, when Tyrese was on Instagram and he was crying about his kids, about his life, despite the fact of what anybody thinks, people go through things. They do. Now, we may not all handle things the same. We may not all feel that that's the appropriate way to go about it. A lot of men say, I know, I probably would have cried in public, but there's no way I would have came on social media and put all that out there for the people to see. But everybody's different. Everybody has their release different. And, and sometimes a person may feel like, especially when you're famous, you may feel like, well, I get more support from my fans than I would from my family or my friends. So let me just go this route. But, that's what people do. And on social media right now, a lot of people, we see a lot of celebrities attacking each other. And it's like, why? Because people are adapting this. And not to mention that the president of the United States is one of the kings of attacking people through social media. And this is the stuff that just sends a bad example to a younger generation. Because we're always talking about don't bully. You shouldn't bully anybody. Stop bullying. Stop intimidating. Stop cyberbullying. But then again, what are we seeing from our celebrities? Not all celebrities now. Let me get that clear. Not all celebrities. But a lot of celebrities really are attacking each other through social media. It's sort of like, I don't want to fight you because I don't know if I can win. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to talk about you, man. I'm going to tweet about you. What you going to do, huh? I'm going to tweet about you, huh? I'm going to tweet about you. And that's what people do, man. Everybody's using social media, man, Facebook, all this stuff to wage these little social media wars against somebody. I mean, if y'all using this to like build up your fan base or everybody so you can get more followers, let me start a beef with somebody. It's a Twitter beef. I start a Twitter beef and we'll get more followers, a Facebook beef. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the old days when rappers used to have beef, well, it was not different than the beef now, but you know, back then when they had beef, they would just make songs about each other. This is before they started actually going out trying to kill each other, but they would make songs about each other. And the thing about it is, it's like everybody would buy the songs. Because you think about it, when LL and Kool Moe Dee went at it, they did it with songs. You know, LL Cool J came out with I Had I'm Bad, and Kool Moe Dee had the song How Do You Like Me Now? You know, then he had the song Let's Go. LL Cool J had It Gets No Rougher. You know, Jack the Ripper. So they did it with songs. But part of that was a lot of times those artists made more money from those songs because of the beef they had with each other. So I'm just wondering if celebrities are thinking like, man, you know what? I can get more followers, market more of my movies or more of my products if I start a Twitter beef or Facebook beef. Well, mainly on Twitter now or Instagram. So they get more followers, and the more followers they get, the bigger the beef they can have, and the more people that will start following and listening to them. But it comes back to the point. What message are you sending? I mean, we got to be honest and ask these questions. Now, I know we look at these celebrities and we like them. You know what I'm saying? We respect them. We do. We do. Because you look at a celebrity, man, and it makes you feel good because sometimes they do movies that you really enjoy. They sing songs that you really enjoy. Some form of entertainment that you respect and you like. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it just brings us back to the point. Do we feel that celebrities accept responsibility for the possibility of the impact of the messages that they send and their actions through social media? Or do they feel like it doesn't matter? Because for them, it's not about the message. It's not about how people interpret it. It's more about, you know, how many more people are going to start following me? Is this advertising for me? Is this more branding for me? Is this going to increase my audience size? I got a movie coming out. Would this help to boost my ticket sales for my movie? Or I got a concert coming. Are more people going to come to my concert to hear what I say or to hear me speak about this? You know, so people always want to make some money. But the thing about it is, do they accept responsibility for the impact that they could have? And are they willing to change that? I mean, think about it. I mean, really do. Now, we as adults may follow some artists and celebrities on social media. And when we do follow them, you know, we're adults. So we may not have the same mentality as our younger generation when they see these artists and celebrities beefing or cursing or doing some of the stuff that they do on social media that can come across as being negative. But as celebrities, do we feel that because they are celebrities, because they are famous, it should be overlooked? Because to them, it's not negative. It's more of, well, look, you know, they're trying to promote themselves. So that makes it okay. Or they're just trying to express a point. Does that make it okay? But a lot of people don't want to challenge celebrities. So what does that bring us to? I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, and like I said, I mentioned Cardi B. Don't get me wrong, Cardi B seems cool. She's actually kind of funny, but she's extremely vulgar in her social media stuff. And a lot of her stuff is twerking and booty shaking. Is that something that you want a young child to see and emulate? You know what I'm saying? And I know some people are going to say, well, why are you picking on these people? I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, if you come out doing something that's negative or can have a negative impact, at some point, should you not say to yourself, maybe I need to tone it down. Maybe I need to be a little bit more responsible. I mean, because think about it. I have Instagram accounts of celebrities who are in their bras, in their panties. I mean, it's just, and I don't know them. I don't know them personally, but this is what they post. So, I mean, come on. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Because we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come right back and we're going to come up with some suggestions that maybe should be used on social media to kind of balance things out. So stay right with us right here on Simply Straight Talk. This is your host, Reggie. And don't forget, you got to keep that smile, man. We coming right back and we're going to talk about this a little bit more.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Voyaging is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. Voyaging creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmvoyaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind Blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmvoyaging.com.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
All right, everybody, welcome back right here on Simply Straight Talk. Today, we're talking about celebrities and how they influence people on social media. Now, with this conversation, we have discussed some things that we talked about earlier. Now, this is not stuff that has not been mentioned before. Now, we talked about, language, sexuality, threatening people, disregarding people in distress and going after them, and do celebrities accept responsibility for what they post? Now, we can't just limit this to celebrities because we also got to look at ourselves. Do you as an individual think about your social media, the content you post? Now, do you feel like you regulate yourself or there's certain things you will post and won't post? Now, because I tell you what, I look at my friend Nayela Abrego. When she posts stuff on social media, it's always work-related, classy. She may be out by the lake. It's always some fun, respectable stuff. Now, other people, on the other hand, post different things. Some people post sports stuff. Some people post football things, family vibes. So like I'm saying, everybody does not post negative things. Everybody does not. But it just seems that the people who post the craziest and the most wildest things seem to get all of the attention and the majority of followers. Because I guess, in honesty, we got to admit, there is a market for how nasty or how crazy you can be on social media. It just is. Ain't nothing we can do about it, but hey, it's there. Now, on this segment of the show, we sort of want to talk about what are some things you can do. What are some things that even the social media platforms might consider doing when it comes to some of these posts and maybe protecting some of the younger people from being able to access some of this stuff? Now, are we saying that maybe, celebrities should have two platforms? One for a younger generation that's a little more G-rated, and then one that can be a little more adult-oriented. I mean, should there be age restrictions like that for social media? Because right now, anybody can create a social media account. Anybody. It doesn't matter what your age is. You can create a social media account, and when you create that account, you have access to anybody else, unless their profile is locked. Now, some accounts allow you to lock your profile, or you have to request permission from that person to allow you to access their material. But I'm telling you right now, there are some accounts out there that have some very explicit material that is absolutely wide open. Anybody can partake in it. Anybody can look at it and view it. But I want to tell you something, okay? An old friend of mine, Selena, posted a meme this morning about had a picture of an older lady and had the words basically saying, mothers, be careful what you do because your child can imitate you. And it was a mother who was standing naked, okay, looking in the mirror with her cell phone, her tongue out, taking a picture, and her daughter was standing right there in the doorway watching her. So that's sort of the point. It's like we're posting things and we're not considering the consequences of our youth or our family members that actually have access or can see these things. So that brings me back to the question, should there be age restrictions for social media platforms? I mean, come on. And who's influenced most by what we see on social media today when it comes to some of the wild and crazy stuff? Is it our younger generation or our older generation? It's kind of hard to tell because you see a lot of more mature women and men out there posting some stuff that's just absolutely crazy. The language, I mean, it is. It really is. Now, I'm not saying I'm a holy roller. I'm not saying that everybody has to be a perfect angel when they do their stuff. But I'm just saying, let's have a little bit more accountability to what we're doing and what we're putting out there. So if that means you may have to lock your account, personally accept people, but if you're just looking for followers, you're not going to do that. So people are not going to do that. And somebody may say, well, you know what, Reggie, why does any of this matter? Why does it matter what people post on their social media? Well, you know what? You got a point. A person has the right to do whatever they want to do. And I'm not trying to infringe on anybody's rights, anybody's beliefs. I'm not saying that they can't do whatever they feel is comfortable for them. I'm just saying that maybe we need to be a little more considerate of how our actions may influence somebody else, especially if our actions are negative. Because you got people now men and women in their 60s and 50s that's posting stuff the same as kids that's 18 and 15 are doing. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, who's being influenced most in the most negative way. But why does it matter? Because we do have to consider the people that we don't want everybody to feel like negative behavior is bad, but we don't want to say that we're limiting somebody's freedom of speech, but we at least need to teach our younger people that you can't mimic everything you see and everything that somebody does just because they have a status of fame and fortune does not make it morally or ethically right or responsible. Now, some people say, well, maybe the social media platforms need to do things to tighten up, to make sure and to protect youth and younger people from accessing material that people post that is negative, that is derogatory, that is, nudity and vulgar and all that stuff. Okay, now I thought about this, and I'm going to tell you why I feel like they are absolutely not going to do anything about it. And it's one word, and you probably already know the word: money. Money. These social media platforms are not going to turn away or ask celebrities of anybody who's drawing a larger crowd to change what they're doing or put any type of restrictions on what they're doing simply because of the money. Because there are sponsors who pay millions of dollars to these social media platforms. And when you got people like, megastars like The Rock and, you got Cardi B and you got these stars who just really are on social media posting that draw a crowd, because as long as they're on there, people are going to come. They're going to want to hear what they got to say. They're going to want to see what they're doing. They want the inside scoop on their movies, on their next appearances or their next TV shows. They want that information. They want the inside of an exclusive song. If Cardi B's releasing a new song, they won't be saying, hey, I just heard the new song. They want that insight of being a part of that fan base. I get that. I totally get that. So we have to understand that, when these things happen, the social media platforms are not going to do anything. It's just too much money they will lose. They're not going to risk losing the money. So they just are going to kick it all back to the individuals who has the account. Is their responsibility of what they're post. And they have the option of saying, hey, if they don't want to share it, they can just lock their account. True, they can. But do they? Will they? They won't, though. But, it's just a matter of we have to figure out what is in the best interest. And I understand that sometimes people feel like it's their right. Let them post it. Let them post it. And that's fine to say. That is absolutely fine to say. Because it's okay for them to post that stuff until you see your little girl twerking around the house, or you see your little girl using vulgar language, or your little girl sitting on a camera phone, or you may let her play with your phone one day, and you may see her lay on the couch and she starts unbuttoning her shirt, taking all these different little pictures. Now, whose fault is that? I mean, come on now. We got to be honest about this thing. We got to be real. We got to be real. Everybody has to be accountable. And I'm not saying that the celebrities are at full responsibility. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you reach a point in your life to where you become at a status to where you are in the public eye, you have to be more accountable and responsible to your actions. But then again, we all should be more accountable and responsible for our actions, what we post, what we say, what we do. I mean, we just have to. Because if we lose all accountability, then we'll hold no one accountable for what they do or what they say. All right, everybody, we're about to take another break, and we will be right back right here on Simply Straight Talk.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And right now, I'm about to share my final thoughts with you on the subject of celebrities and their responsibility with social media. How do they influence the people? But I also want to ask you, how are you influencing those around you? You may not be a celebrity, but don't you think that you're influencing somebody? Your daughter, your son, by your actions, your behavior? We live in a world today where freedom of speech is being questioned. Freedom of speech and expression is being thrown out every day in all different ways. Because we all know that our younger generation and even our older generation has access to more stuff now through the internet than they did for us, I don't want to say older, but us more wiser people from the 70s and the 80s. But you know what? As we grow up and as we learn, some things we need to learn over time. We don't need to learn in 5 minutes. We don't need to learn to behave certain ways and do certain things just because we got a quick, short video from somebody who's famous or somebody who's in the public eye. So it's important that, yes, I think we do need to restrict our younger generation and even restrict ourselves from some things that will pose as a negative influence on ourselves and other people. Because if we lack the ability to control what we disseminate to the world, then we are lacking our own responsibility for what we're sharing and what we're using and giving to influence other people. You know, it's like I said earlier, I have seen a lot of videos right now to where it seems like people really love seeing little babies, especially girls, out there flirting. I mean, not flirting, out there twerking and doing these little nasty dances. And they had one where they had the girl, because you know how the woman bends over and she twerks and the man comes up behind her bumping on her. And it's the same. And I saw when these little babies doing that, they couldn't have been no more than like 5, 6 years old. I'm like, are you serious? You seriously find this funny? That a little baby, 5 to 6 years old, is backing up into a 5 to 6 year old boy, bumping and grinding on each other. And we find this absolutely, this is okay. As a father, I would have lost my mind. Because my thing is, if they're imitating that, what else are they going to start imitating as they grow forward? Because some things, yes, we may say in our minds that they're cute, but at some point we got to say, oh, no. That's inappropriate. It's not right. So we have to learn that we have to sort of monitor what we're putting out there and be careful of what we're putting out there. And it doesn't mean that you are, a nerd or that you're a type of person that's not up on times. It just means that you're the type of person that really cares about the people around you. You care about how you influence other people. Now, in regards to celebrities, do I think that they should sort of restrict and kind of monitor what they're putting out there? Yes, I do. Because there's a big difference from an actor who's, doing movies when you got people like Cheryl Streep, Taraji P. Henson. If they're doing movies and they're doing, movie stuff, hey, this is my movie coming out, little shots and stuff like that. And I understand they're going to do some modeling. I get that. But there's a difference between what Roxy Reynolds would put on her Instagram or her social media sites versus what somebody like Taraji P. Henson would put. Because those are two different types of careers. And I'm never saying that Taraji P. Henson would do that. I'm just saying, if you know who Roxy Reynolds is, no disrespect to her. That's her field. That's her career. She make her money. Do what you do, boo-boo. Ain't got nothing but love for you. You know what I'm saying? I got love for everybody. But you understand that when you can't go out there and put this stuff out without having some accountability to who is actually having access to it and who may be influenced or feel like this is what it takes to make it when there's a negative way of going about things. As always, I want to thank you for joining me here on Simply Straight Talk. Make sure you stay tuned and listen up because next week's show is going to be good. And also, don't forget, subscribe to the show and listen to the contest. As always, those giveaways are for you. You have to do nothing to be a part of it. Thank you. We love you. And I love your support.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.